Hello there. This is Gabe Belanger. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about ChatGPT and why I think it's time that you should pay for ChatGPT. When you pay for ChatGPT, it opens up a whole world of different options. In it, you can even create your own GPT. But what I really wanted to focus in on is the Data Analyst app when you pay for ChatGPT. So it's $20 US per month for that. So let's look here a little bit at the presentation. So time to pay for ChatGPT. Yes, my demo will prove it. So I'm very confident that this is worth the money for my company, and just in the instance of analyzing reports. It's difficult to read through, analyze, come up with the right answers all the time. We have a lot of reports that we read, and instead of doing that, why don't we just get ChatGPT to do it? So that's what this is about today. So the ChatGPT paid version is $20 US per month. You get access to other ChatGPT apps, a whole bunch of them, maybe too many to get into today. But why don't I kind of show you what I mean here? So once you're logged into the paid version of ChatGPT, you can go down here. These are some of the ChatGPTs. But if you click on Explore GPTs, you'll see there are a whole bunch of different GPTs that you can use. They're just kind of ready to go. You just run the app. So if we click on Music Teacher, you just start the chat and it will go through and do it. So the other cool thing is you can just create a chat GPT. And if you don't know how to create it, well, you can just start saying, I want to analyze data, and then it will guide you along. So we're not going to do that today, but I just wanted to show you when you pay for ChatGPT, that's kind of what you're getting. Okay, so let's go back to this data analyst concept. So all we do there is we click on data analyst, and I'll just zoom in so you can see this better. Okay, that's about as good as we'll get. So this is the data analyst. So before I get into that, I kind of wanted to go over the idea here. So getting the paid version of ChatGPT, $20 US per month, you get access to those apps I showed you. You can create your own using simple chat. So you can make your own tool that leverages ChatGPT. And you can use the data analyst to analyze your reports. So why would you want that? Well, you have big, long reports you're auditing and checking. You'd like to just load it into ChatGPT and then ask it proper questions, get proper answers. So remember, ChatGPT is not confidential. The app logs users' conversations, personal data to train its model. So you got to remove any information from your reports you don't want shared publicly to be on the safe side. It's something I covered in another video where we talked about the confidentiality of ChatGPT. Now, there is a way to use ChatGPT locally on your laptop, and none of your information gets out, 100% confidential. So if you want more information about that, just check one of my other videos. So when we go back here, so ChatGPT is not confidential. So your job ends up being prompting. So what we mean by prompting is that you've got to go through and be specific and detailed, describe your data. What I mean by that is, well, we're probably better to just show kind of what my data that I'm going to demo looks like. So if we go down here, hopefully you can see this okay. This is a report that we get emailed to us. And then one of my staff members, she goes through and makes sure that everything looks good here. So the technician time entry on tickets. So when did the technician start the work? Is the work billable? You can see company name here. I've removed to protect, the companies, my clients. The charge to here shows the ticket and kind of summary what we did, the hours actual, and then the notes, like what did they do? And then the status of the ticket and when it was last updated. So all of these items here in this row allow us to analyze using ChatGPT very quickly and very easily. If we had a couple sheets in here, we could, ChatGPT is smart enough to look at those few sheets, not just the sheet that we're using. So again, we're going to look into the demo of this, and that's the report that we're going to use. So back to the presentation here. So your job is prompting. So we're going to load that report, that Excel report, into Data Analyst, and then you need to be specific, describe your data. So you can say, the start time or time start on mine is when the technician started the work. The hours actual is how many hours the technician worked, and different things like that, so that you don't have to, hope that ChatGPT figures it out. Just prompt it. Give that information to ChatGPT from the beginning. State your hypothesis or questions. Recently, I tried it out when I was asking, should these tickets be worked on right away? If so, give me the ticket number and which ones and why you think they should be worked on. And ChatGPT gave me those answers. So it was pretty impressive. So another thing is to specify the desired outputs. One case I said, show me the tickets, why you think they should be worked on right away, and the ticket number and the most recent notes. It just does it all. Additionally, you can provide ChatGPT, a request to show a chart of these numbers, because after all, we're talking about a document here that, yes, a person can analyze, but could you turn this into a chart, in about 10 seconds or a minute? Probably not. So why not put ChatGPT to work for us? Also, clarify your expertise level, how good you are at data analysis. And then if you say you're an expert, it's going to give you expert level answers. If you say you're new and you need help, it'll prompt you, maybe even ask you questions, show you what they're doing, and give you a more broad answer. So your expertise level matters. And then provide the context. So any background information about the project, industry, or specific challenges you're facing can enhance the relevance of the analysis. So really, if you can write a really good prompt once and just reuse it on that report, it's going to work great. And of course, iterate and refine. So data analysis is often an iterative process. Feel free to ask follow-up questions, request clarifications, or refine your objectives. So it's kind of like you're talking to a real data analyst. You give them an Excel and then you ask them a whole bunch of questions. And I know in the past I've hired specialists and I was kind of thinking they would know everything and do everything, but no, you have to do some work too. So luckily with ChatGPT, once you get the questioning proper, the prompting properly done, you can just keep that same prompt and repeat it on that report. The way you would do that is you would upload your report, the Excel report, and then you would paste in that copied prompt with a bunch of context for the report, what you're looking for, how you want the output, etc. And you just paste it, ask it, it'll give you the answer. And if, as we're saying here, if it's not good enough for you, work on the prompting, just make it better. You'll get a way better report. It's kind of hard to believe how well this works. So your job is prompting. So here is the demo, work to be done, but work done by text on tickets. So we can see we have the start time, end time, billable flag, whether they're billing for the work on the ticket or not. I remove the company name, info about the ticket, the hours actual work, the notes, the status of the ticket, and when it was last updated. That UTC should say last updated. So all of these things we can analyze and get conclusions from, or even get charts. You just have to ask. So here's a bit of a demo that I did. So I uploaded the file. The first thing you do in Data Analyst is you upload the file, and then I just asked it without any help at all. I just said, what is the average hours? Sure, there's an hours column in there, but I didn't help it at all. And it was able to figure it out, and it gave me the average hours of 0.71. So that was pretty cool. I was impressed right away. It'll also give you some of its reasoning, which you'll see in here, like how it's trying to figure it out. And if you see something that's wrong, you can go back and say, well, this actually means, number of hours worked by the tech, and billable means we're billing the client. So it is really kind of like having a person sitting there, giving them the Excel document to look at, and then asking them questions, and asking follow-up questions if they don't get the answer you want right away. Okay, so next part here is an example of a better prompt. So instead of just kind of asking what are the average hours like I did, you can see I uploaded another report and I said, charge to indicates the 5-digit ticket number with the summary of the ticket request. Status tells us what the ticket status was last set to by the tech or admin. Start is the start time. Start is the time the notes were entered. Notes describe what was done, etc. So you can see I took the Excel document and I kind of explained what all these things are about, and I gave it context, which is great. And one key thing here is, the was last set by the tech or admin. The status was last set by the tech or admin. So it's kind of like you're telling the ChatGPT how it works. And then it says, please indicate which tickets are waiting us to action them and what we should do. So it not only is it going to do this analysis, but it's really can go in here and read and figure out what we should be doing next. And sometimes it's really obvious. And at times in the past, I have had people go through all of our closed tickets and look to see if we did everything. We have the initial request from the client, and then we have the actual work that was done. And I had them analyze whether we did everything properly to make sure we didn't miss anything. And ChatGPT can do this job. None of my admin people I've ever had tasked to this like doing that job, because it takes a lot of work and effort. And as long as we do this right, we can just run the report on it. Run this tool on it. So let's try a live demo. So I am going to try a live demo, but I do want to say that ChatGPT has been crashing. So I'm not actually sure if it's going to work. It's kind of odd because I've never had it crash before. So what we do here is, we go in and we explore the GPT, and then we select Data Analyst, and it just stays in here for me, Data Analyst. So next time I can just click on Data Analyst, and here it is. So what it really wants you to do is it wants you to add in a report right away. So I'm going to add in this report, and we'll just see if this works. Okay, so I added the report in. So now I can ask, what are the average hours? So you can see it's without giving much information. We're kind of giving it a little bit more work to do. It's going through and it's trying to figure out what the average hours are with no prompting, no information. And it's explaining to us how it's doing it, which is pretty impressive. If we had hired a data analyst and just gave them a report, we can assume this is what they would do. They're not going to know everything about your business and the context. So it's just like this with the data analyst, but it really is like having hired a data analyst, and you're just kind of giving them a report and saying, what are the average hours? This is what we get out of ChatGPT. So let's get back to it here. So we can see that it's calculated it accurately. And let's not forget that all I really gave it, I didn't give it much. I just gave it this report, and then I said, give me the average hour. So it took these hours and it averaged it out, which is kind of, all we can really ask of it. So now we can get a little bit more in depth. And I mean, some of this may not work well, but I'm going to do it anyway. So what tickets need to be worked on? Some of the ticket statuses or SR status said that these tickets were closed and some weren't. So let's see if it's smart enough to figure it out without any prompting. Okay, so we can see that it kind of gave its reasoning here. So let's see what it said. The work required for each ticket, so it says SR or any other route. Let's check the data for these details. Based on the SR status column, the tickets that need to be worked on, excluding those marked as closed, are as follows. Now, it didn't exclude the one that marks as closed. So I'll just say SR status. Well, actually, sorry. The question I asked was, what needs to be worked on? So it may be that it saw a closed ticket and it thinks it should still be worked on. Let's see. One of these closed tickets was 23864. So if we go to our actual report, let's see how well it did. Okay, so you can see right here the notes for this ticket. It says, I think it's already done by Gabe. So even though it says, I think it's already done by Gabe, ChatGPT is saying to us, well, it's closed, but based on the notes, it might need more work done. So let's now ask ChatGPT, provide a reason why you think it needs more work for each and list the same info as above. Again, I've done no fancy prompting or anything. I'm just asking, give it the report, and that's it. Okay, so the first one, ticket 23943. Reason the ticket being reopened usually indicates a previously considered resolved issue. So that's completely right. Okay, so the next one, 23864, it's saying that it's closed, but it could imply that the ticket is near closure. It may require final checks, customer information, or some closing procedures. And another way of thinking of that is, yes, there might be more work to do, even though it's closed. So you can see the reasoning of it. So I'm going to do another thing a little bit different. So provide a chart of the hours based on the date. So I'm just going to let it decide how it's going to do. Again, my prompting is very mild here. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a different, report and a different way to do the prompting. So the best thing to do is to, come up with pretty good prompting at the very beginning, put in the report, put the prompt, and then work iteratively with the product to see that you're getting the results you want. And I'm going to talk a little bit near the end about how you can automate this even easier with a little bit of a small thing to discuss. So, okay, so here I'm asking it to draw a chart. So it does have the dates, and it's trying to do it. You can see it's trying to do it, and it's trying again. So is it just like pretend you had hired a data analyst, you gave it the Excel, and he's like, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what you're looking for. Let me try it again and see what I can get out of it. And that the beauty of ChatGPT is that it's kind of telling us what it's trying to do here, whether it's making good assumptions or bad assumptions or its thought process. Of course, as I keep saying, if we prompt it properly and give it all the information, it'll do a much better job. So here we have some kind of an answer, and here's the answer: total hours by actual date. So we have a date, number of hours, and I mean, there you go. That's a chart. And maybe you don't want to, maybe you want to format this so it looks better. So change chart to yellow, and it should just give us another chart with a different color. And there you go. You don't have to format the chart either. It's just going to make it for you. So that is the beauty of the ChatGPT Data Analyst product. And, I want to make it clear that what we need to do is we need to pay for ChatGPT before we can get this kind of data analyst app working. There might be other ways of doing it, but I'm not sure why you would bother when there are so many other cool products when you pay for ChatGPT. So hopefully this demo just for the data analyst part has proven to you, for people out there that are looking through reports and looking through any kind of information, that the data analyst can take any format of data. It could be 50 emails, put in the right format, and then just have ChatGPT read through. We can also ask it questions like mathematical questions. We can ask it to analyze, the sentiment of the wording. We can ask it to make decisions on, how fast this ticket is being done. Does it need to be, just all kinds of different things. And the better we prompt, the better results we're going to get. So that was the quick live demo. And last thing I wanted to say, so let's pretend we're even, wanting to get more leverage. So we do have our reports sent to us over email. They're sent to us in email, and then our admin person will open it and go through and read the reports. And it's pretty time consuming, of course, takes a lot of effort. So once you've done that kind of work, maybe you're going to look for something easier to do if you're actually reading through, doing all the work. So wouldn't it be cool if we could have a report that was sent from email and have ChatGPT analyze it and then just spit out the results that we want to know? So from report automatically emailed by for us ticketing system, analyzed by ChatGPT, and then you're given the results perhaps in an email saying, well, these are the 5 tickets you should work on, and these are my reasons why. Here's a chart of hours, et cetera, et cetera. So I keep going back to that same example. So let's look at that, right? So this can be done with Zapier. So you get your emailed reports automatically sent and analyzed with the data analyst from ChatGPT. So we can look down in here and you can see you can analyze data and metrics from Gmail attachments with ChatGPT and send to Slack. So you get the email report, it reads the report through ChatGPT, does an analysis. Of course, you're going to have good prompting, so you're going to get good results, and then sends the results to Slack. Another way of doing it is analyze the attachments, KPI and other company data with ChatGPT. And then again, it's filtered and emailed out to you. So it's not limited to just this methodology, but this is a good example that I thought I would show you. So hopefully this has proven to you that ChatGPT is worth paying for just for the data analyst. But I think maybe what I can do real quick here is just go through some of the other items in ChatGPT. Yep. So here are some of the other ChatGPT items. Of course, I haven't used them all, but some of them are, you could probably tell are useful. You can search for them. So, data analysts, scrape websites, etc. There's lots of different categories. We can see DALL-E, image generator, writing, productivity, research and analysis. This one looks cool, where you're getting a lot of academic papers. Programming, if you're into that, a lot of growth happening here as far as I've heard. And education and lifestyle. So hopefully this has been useful to you. If you have any questions or anything about this, let me know. If you'd like me to set this up for your company, get it working, all I really need to do is help you format the report. So, any sensitive information is out of the report. We can automate the report possibly with your tools, send it through email, that cleaned up report through email, feed it into the data analyst, and then send you an email saying, yes, this report shows that we need to work on ticket 1, ticket 2, ticket 3, and here's the reasons why. Here's a chart, all automated, all paid for once, and then you just have that repetitive process. A lot of processes people do on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, all can be automated. So if you need help there, let me know. I'll put a little bit more information in the comment or in the actual event, so you can click through and get more information about some of the cool tools in ChatGPT. So hopefully this has convinced you it's a good tool. So I hope you have a good day, and thanks for your attention.